All right, all right, all right. Okay, I get it. Look, I know it's Saturday, and maybe you're sitting around in fuzzy slippers. Maybe you haven't shaved, you're just chilling out. You're trying on purpose, even though you're driven, to not do something productive and just really take a day off. I get it. I understand. And then I pop up. Here I am again, going live, talking to you about probably what feels like pressure and what, when you do try it, feels like screaming loudly into the void that doesn't echo back. But here's the thing, I'm here today to let you know very specifically, I see you, I understand you, I value you, and I'm here for you. That's right. I'm talking about you, the person who's going to pop in for 2 seconds somewhere during this and lurk. You're not going to hit a like button. You're not going to say anything. You'll be gone as quick as you got here. I see you. You watch a minute of this and then you bounce back out. You listen for a few minutes and you hope that I don't look up in the left hand screen to see that there's somebody else there. And even if you don't think anybody knows you're there, I've noticed I do. I see you. And this message, what we're doing right here, right now, today, it's for you. Hi, my name's Steve Kidd. I am a third generation minister, international best-selling author of 39 books and counting. And I have the amazingly wonderful privilege of having worked with over 5,000 people on the process, everywhere from writing to publishing to marketing their books to bestseller and everything that goes beyond that. We've been a marketing company for over 40 years now, or real close to it if it's not over. Um, and what we really do is just come in and show up to maximize the value of the most preciously incredible thing, and that's you. That's right, you. You're so amazing. I don't think you really understand it. I don't think you really see the you that is you, that the world needs so much. Somebody's waiting on you. I know you hear me say that all the time, even while I'm so comfortable saying it that I can say it while I'm inviting people to this live. You feel like it's just a bunch of bull. The reason why I can invite people to this live and say it is because I don't really mean it. I don't really know it. I don't really see it. But that's not true. See, normally I'm sat up, I'm really right up in the camera, and I'm trying to, on purpose, give you this laid back Saturday. Got the old country picture from my uncle that stayed up here on the wall even after he passed and we moved into this house, just kind of chilling with you. I want you to feel that laid back sense of comfort that lets you be able to feel safe today, to say even one word. Sure, you could drop the word clarity, but that might seem too much because you know that that's a call to action. That's the beginning of us interacting with each other. And maybe you're not at that point yet. And I get that. I understand. But I would encourage you, even if it's just the one word here or I'm here, to make a comment, to say, hey, I'm here. Do like Patricia and say aloha, and just let people, or not even people, forget about the whole rest of the world. Just let me know that you're here. I see you. I value you. I want so many good things for you. And yeah, I joke all the time about fuzzy slippers and, wearing pajamas, and the fact that I didn't shave today and all those kind of things, to keep our Chill Saturday vibe exactly what I want it to be and what it needs to be to really continue to lead the charge for you of clarity, consistency, and connection. You see, if I'm clear that I'm here to help you get clear, if I'm clear that I'm here to help you be clear, consistent, and connect, all the other things that I can tell you about, that I have a program that for 15K in 30 to 90 days, you absolutely not only will have a book in your voice, not some AI piece of crap, but a really real, powerful book. It'll be done, written, edited, published, all the whole 9 yards, and you will be a best selling author. And we can do that, and we've done it in less than 30 days. And I could talk to you about our high end group that we have that's 100K. It's designed for multimillionaires and beyond. And it's totally about clarity. It's absolutely about getting real. It's about that mercy in the dark. Because once you've hit that 7, 8 figure level, you're beginning at least. I heard somebody at an event I was at, in April, or I guess it was the 1st of May, whatever, that was talking about, you being a legit business when you hit 30 million. And whatever number you want to put onto that, I know some people that would feel like they were a legit business if they hit 6 figures. But whatever your level, whatever comfort zone you get to, there's always a next level for that. But the higher you get up in there, the harder it becomes to face those demons that follow you all the way through it. Because here's the cool part about it, and the most terrifying of all, and that's the fact that wherever you go, there you are. No matter how hard you run, you can't get away from you. And so, yeah, I want to keep Saturday as the chill, laid back, you know, wiggling your toes in the grass. I wish all of us were in a comfy beach chair on the beach, one of the warmer beaches, not, I mean, there are some beaches that all year round, even when you get there, they're always cold. Okay. The beach was my backyard when we lived in Washington on what's called the Long Beach Peninsula, not to be confused with Long Beach, California, Long Beach, Washington, that peninsula. And I lived on the north end of the peninsula. And I can tell you the wind blows nonstop. I mean, barbecuing is a real challenge. You got to kind of put something up that blocks the wind from even coming in the under little under air places and blowing out the barbecue. It's a whole different experience. And ocean water in the North Pacific, if you're in, the Pacific Northwest, that water's always cold. And it's never warm enough that you're like, oh yeah, let's just, fall back into the water and just lay here and chill out. You can do that in SoCal. When you're in San Diego, and it's 100 degrees outside, I mean, laying in the 60, 65, whatever it is, degree water feels wonderful. You walk out there and yeah, there's that initial shock, but after that, you're like, oh man, this is so great. Oh yeah, I'm just going to live in the ocean for the rest of my life. But when it's 75, it's nice out. And when you're on the beach, it's great. But when it's 75 and the water's like 60, you feel that cold. And I wish all of us were wiggling our toes in the sand on a warm beach with the waves, how they do, where they come in and they just kind of tickle your toes. Never really too hot or too cold, just that kind of refreshing, cool splash that comes across your feet. You're not so deep, so far out on the beach that the wave is going to come up and like splash up into your lap or something. But just about ankle high, maybe at the most, kind of coming up over your chair and then going back out. I want you to envision that. I went extra into that visual because I want you to take that visual. I want you to take it in and then sit back and relax. And yeah, lurk, be there, you know, don't say a word, but I dare you. I dare you to just simply drop the word here. The word clarity is our word for when you want to work with me. But the word to just begin to just speak up just a little. I came to the realization after I was talking yesterday. Yesterday we did confessions of all the people and what they'd say to me if they would actually speak up. And I came to the realization after that there's a lot of you that are out there, and many of you, because I can see the views that happen on repeats and things like that, and I see the numbers build and grow and wane and what have you during the course of the time that I'm live. And I see Patricia, and Patricia, I appreciate you so much for consistently posting, whether I do look down and read that you're present. Thank you for being here. Or I, am really in the zone and I don't. I appreciate that. And for the person who's on that isn't saying a word, isn't making a peep, never has, and maybe you never will, I appreciate you too. I see you. I know you're out there. And I know you're listening because you have a need. And I'm not here to shame you. I'm not here to call you out. I know that over 90% of people on Facebook are going to always be lurkers. And I'm not going to try to get you to change who you are. I just want you to see how amazing you are. And I want to still encourage you, even when you're the lurker, to find a way to use your voice too. And voice is a very broad phrase in this case for just showing up as the best you. The best you might be smiling at that haggard, frazzled cashier. They need it. I mean, some of those, think about it, okay? I was thinking about this one the other day, because we never really know the backstory of the person that's a cashier. And maybe they're like my mom who worked, at Walmart for, I want to say it was like 17 or 18 years, up until she was, oh gosh, mom was like 83 or 84 when she finally, and she had worked 17 years for Walmart, got to the place where she was just like, it's getting a little bit tough to stand here nonstop and, and all that. And she just knew it was time to retire, and sometimes she still misses it. And, but I was thinking, it might be that. It could also be somebody who's a single mom. It could be a single dad too. I mean, let's not single dads of the world unite. I raised 5 kids for 5 years by myself. So, I have a real special place in my heart for single dads too. But typically, when you think of the cashier, most of those are ladies. Maybe she's a single mom, and maybe one of the kids is sick and what she really wants to do is be home with them. Or maybe, as kids do, they drove her absolutely crazy. And the last thing just before she left the house, she screamed at them. And so now she's spending the entire time at work beating herself up over not being as good of a mom as she has put this unreal, impossible to meet standard onto herself. And we don't know what's behind the eyes. We don't know what's going on in the brain of that person. And maybe they're snappy and grouchy and not real fun to be in the energetic space that is them. But maybe just simply saying to them, thank you. Or maybe that's too bold for you. As the lurker, you're not even really bold enough to hit the like button on this live. But maybe, just maybe, you can just smile. You can even just, as we talked about yesterday, you can even just greet them with love in your heart. You can reach out with that energetic love and connect with them without saying a word. See, connection goes so much further. Words are, for those of us that are talkers, for those of us that are speakers, words are the easy part. It's that true heart of compassion that really wants to connect. I promise you, go into Walmart, your local grocery store, the dollar, oh my gosh, yeah, the Dollar Tree. Imagine ringing up millions, not millions, but hundreds upon hundreds of things that are all $1, although a lot of them cost more than $1 these days. We've all been to the Dollar Tree, but and just beep, beep, beep all day long, and you move your hand like 40 times, you know, and then you get you get two 20s, and you're like, oh my gosh, that first of all took forever, and second of all, I mean, how is Dollar Tree even going to stay in business to pay me this week, let alone ongoingly? And it's not like it's a 250K a year job. Most of the cashiers at Dollar Tree are working on minimum wage. And no matter what state you live in, minimum wage was never intended to be a livable wage. It's intended to be a starter place. Whether you start with that company and you move up, or you get some experience and you move out. That's what minimum wage was intended to be. It's for high school kids. A high school kid whose parents are paying all the bills, making minimum wage is an awesome thing, because that's video games and all those kind of things, or if they've moved up to the next level, it's their car insurance and gas in their car. And here's this single mom, got 2, 3 kids at home, working a minimum wage job, 40 hours a week, standing on her feet, frustrated as all heck. Do you have the heart condition? Yeah, you're the lurker. Yeah, you're not going to say anything. Okay, that's fine. You're great just being you. But is your heart in the right place? Can you inside? You don't even have to breathe the silent prayer, okay? I'm not trying to push you out of your comfort zone at all today. But your heart can beat for them. You can feel compassion for those people. And you can be consistent in that arena as you move out into the world. The roles could be flipped. You could be that cashier, that snapped at the kids just before you left the house, that's not making enough money to really cover the bills. Maybe you're even on welfare, those kind of things. You live in the crappiest little apartment. You're all cramped in, and life isn't what it was supposed to be. When you were a teen, before you became a single mom, before you had the kids, you were going to marry Prince Charming. As a young girl watching Cinderella, your handsome prince was going to sweep you off your feet, and the slipper was going to fit, and you were going to be in the perfect place. And you met the guy, and he wasn't Prince Charming. He wasn't even Prince Yucky. He was way, way a lot lower and much more derogatory than that. And you had children with him. And then you woke up one day and you, a little older, hopefully wiser, but not really feeling it that morning, seeing yourself all feeling bedraggled, worn out, and you got to go to work today again anyway. You're listening to Steve on your lunch break, or you caught it on, Saturday, which is supposed to be your day off, and you're out in the yard trying to rest, and you're thumbing through Facebook or something, and you saw that and you started listening to it, and you're staying today because you're like, yeah, that's me. I'm that lurker, and my life sucks. And you're like, this is not what life was supposed to be. First of all, I want you to know all of us are either in that place or have been there. We really identify with how you're feeling. Things may have changed for some of us, and they may be different than what they were, but we know what that feeling's like. And we really do feel the compassion for you. And I promise you, when I walk through the line, even when I'm frustrated because you're too darn slow, okay, let's just, call a spade a spade. I always set my intention to try to reach out with love to you, to thank you. And you can be that cashier. Like you said, we're flipping the script on that. Maybe you're not going through the line. Maybe you're the one sitting there all day going beep, 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 right? You could still set that intention in your life. I'm going to greet every single person that comes through my line with love and a sense of mission. I have the opportunity for positive energy, love, and all the unspoken things that are so much bigger than if you were bright and bubbly and, oh, hi, I'm so glad you're here today, and oh, bless you, and I'm just so glad to see you, and may the Lord pour his richest blessings on top of you today as you go about your day. That way too much. We've all had that cashier too, right? And I'm not dissing you if you are that person. You're awesome just as who you are. But you can be the lurker and be hiding. Yeah. And even though, you know, maybe you're even glad to be away from your own children, and somebody comes around with their own little screaming brat that's been throwing stuff off the shelves that you're going to have to pick up when they leave, and the child's just demanding of their parent. And what you really want to do, only if you're as old as I am, because if you're younger, you don't believe in spanking. But really what you want to do is just yank the child out of the cart and beat their butt, right? Okay, sorry for that old school, child abuse thing, all right? There's an old phrase that says, spare the rod and spoil the child. And I think sometimes there was a line in the TV show Bones where the mom said, I told you, I knew I should have beat that kid more regular. And I think of that often. But even in that situation, you can still set your intention and you can reach out to them with love. Even right now, while I'm annoying you because I'm calling out your stuff, you can just post the simple word here. You can put a dot, okay? I'm trying to make you reaching out just a little bit as easy as possible. And if you can't even do the dot, if you can't even hit the like button, that's fine. No shade, no shame. Okay? You can reach out with that intention in your heart. You can have that compassion, that connection. Connection is totally a heart condition. It is totally where and who you are. And it is something that is absolutely in your control. Now, yeah, there are definitely coaching things that we can bring to the table that can help you be identified with how are you showing up. And a lot of times we don't see it. We want to even think we are, intend to show up and be that heartfelt connection. But life is doing the things that life's doing, and we're just not. That's not a judgment. You just need somebody to help you see that and then help you create the skills that are necessary for you to show up the way that you really ever always intended to anyway. But that's all in your control. That heart, that connection part of the 3 C's is totally yours. Consistency. That's why I love this example of being the cashier at work. Because consistency, especially a cashier working a minimum wage or close to it job, especially if you're the single parent, or your spouse is currently unemployed, or whatever your situation might be. Consistency is the easy one in that case because you got to show up. You don't want to. You would give anything to call in sick today. but you do show up because you are going to take care of your bills. You are going to feed your children. Consistency, really, in most cases, we can harp on it a lot, but it's really the easy one. Because guess what? You woke up this morning, and guess who you woke up as? You woke up as you. You're going to consistently go through today being you. You have the control over the you that you want to show up as. Again, we talked about that heart condition, that connection. Who am I? How do I want to show up? Where do I want to be? What do I want to be? Who am I and how am I going to show that today? Because you're here, you're alive. There's a lot of people that didn't make it into this day we call today, but you did. So consistency really is the easy one. I mean, consistency might be really hard when I'm calling you out and saying, and now what I want you to do is pick up your phone and go live and say, hi, my name is. What I do is, and what I'd like to tell you today. Now, I'd love to see you do that. And yeah, if you're that cashier, I would love to see you on a break or just before you drive home or before you get out of the car and you have to deal with the screaming kids. Say, hi, my name is. I work as a cashier. I hate my job. And now I'm home. And now I have to take care of my kids and be a mom. What I want you to know today is I have absolutely no energy whatsoever. I have nothing to give, but I still care. And I'm here for you in the only way that I have the ability to right now. And that's to just simply say hi, give you a smile, and let you know that you're not alone. Now, yeah, that's me moving you to that bold step again. That's me making you talk. But what if all those things I just said, you could speak from your heart? You could allow your heart to say to every single person that comes through your line, every single person that goes through your toll booth, every single person that you drive by. I mean, being a Instacart delivery person or an Uber driver or things like that, they aren't probably the sexiest of all professions. There probably wasn't, a time when you were 10 or 12 or 15 years old going, and I hope someday I can grow up and I can grocery shop for people. No, you might have. Because sometimes that little 5, 6-year-old, they look at the Domino's pizza delivery person and they think they must be the most amazing person on the planet. Absolutely. You didn't intend to be the lurker, even as you pop in and out. And I hope I catch you with the word lurker when you do. But that's where life's taking you. And as you're out driving around, think of the ability of all the people you drive by that you can silently bless. If you're an Uber driver, think of the love that you can bring to the person who's riding in the back seat of your car. Some of I did my first in-person speaking gig that I've done in a lot of years. I did it, it was probably 7 years previously to that I had been on stage. And the first middle of March, I did a speaking gig in a town called Orem, which is outside of Provo, Utah. And I took the train there. Great experience. I love the train. Can't wait to take another train trip. I've got plans already in place for my next train trip. You know, when I got to Provo, because the event was in Orem, which is 15 minutes north. The hotel I stayed in was about 10-15 minute drive north of the rail, where the train dropped off. And the train drop off, it looked pretty much like a bus stop. A little bit bigger than that because they actually had a closed heated room that, people could sit in, which I was glad when, it came time to catch the train going home, because, you wanted to get there early enough that you for sure didn't miss the train. But I got dropped off in the middle of nowhere, and there were 2 or 3 people as well that got off, but they all had cars there or somebody that was already there to meet them. And I was waiting for the Uber to come and pick me up. And I was so grateful. It was 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. And there was some wonderful, precious soul. And I found out from her that that's the shift she works every night. She does stuff with her family and stuff, and she likes the quiet and does that every evening. And I was so grateful because, you know, I can't even begin to express to you what it means when you're in the middle of a city you've never been to. And what I don't really honestly know whether it was a good or bad part of town. I don't even know if the town is a good or bad, safe town. Standing there 2 o'clock in the morning, freezing cold outside. I mean, I'm wearing a parka. It was cold. There's snow on the ground, cold. And I don't deal well with cold anyway. But this wonderful person pulls up in their vehicle and drives me to the hotel, 2 o'clock in the morning. I mean, how can you not be grateful for that? And she had such a great spirit. And what a great opportunity to be able to show up consistently and use your voice. Something as simple as, hi, how are you doing? Something as simple as just simply, as that Uber driver, as that cashier, as that person sitting behind a computer typing in words all day long. Just consistently showing up and doing it and blessing the people around you with a positive energy. Data entry is not a sexy job, and it can be very mind numbing, even if you happen to absolutely, my first wife had an incredible typing speed. She could type like 120 or 130 words a minute. It was amazing. I mean, she was just an incredible typist. And maybe you've got that skill set, but there's still going to be times when work is just work. And you can spread that joy and that hope and that love. Here we go with the sneezing again. To the people around you. Yes, love is a verb. And it's only as good, it's an action verb. It's something that you give out and give away. Now, what's my sneeze drinking game? Everybody get ready. Here we go. Oh, boy. Native elders spend every morning talking to hundreds of people, then every evening, all the same people all over again. Yeah. And maybe it's hundreds, maybe it's one. Yep, keep track. There's another one coming, I think. What's the point of all of what I'm saying here today? I see you. And that's nothing to sneeze at. How's that for a dramatic impact? I see you. And maybe you're the lurker, and maybe you're hiding, and maybe you don't have that outgoing personality that's ever going to be on stage. I know a couple of people that are major just helpers. That's their gifting. They are the person behind stage, making sure that the person on stage has somebody that will run them a bottle. Jeez. That will run them a bottle of water. They're not going to go up on the stage and run that person the bottle of water, but they're going to pay attention, and they're going to notice when that person needs the bottle of water. They would be the person that if I didn't have a Kleenex in hand, would make sure somebody took me a Kleenex. Again, they're not going to go up on stage and take the Kleenex. And that may be who you are. And that's powerful. That's a great thing to be and to show up as. So be the lurker. Be the person that shows that shows people how to sneeze, that shows up just as you. We're here for you. I see you. I know how massively, powerfully impactful you are. And I appreciate you. And today was the day to celebrate you. And yes, no, it's nothing to sneeze at, in spite of my sneezing. And I appreciate you. And if you, as that lurker, as that person with the gifting of helps, that's always going to be behind the scenes, if you want to know how you can show up clearly, consistently, and connect, I'm here for you too. Oh, man. And there are ways that we could show you how to do the 3 C's, clearly, consistently connect. And it is technically using your voice. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with ever picking up your phone and doing a live stream. And I want to help you too. And I know you're a behind the scenes person, so DM me. Then it doesn't have to go in the live comments at all. Just send me a message. Send me. Let me know that that's who you are. Send me the words quiet clarity, because you want to remain quiet, but you want your clarity to show up powerfully. And let's help you today. Sorry for ending this off with a sneeze attack. It happens when it happens, and it's just going to be there. 9? No, it actually happened. For those of you that don't know, the word 9 means no in German. Anyway, I appreciate you, just who you are. And I know that for every one Patricia that's on commenting, there's 9 people that are going to hit the like button. And that like button might be on just one of the short clips, but they're going to do it. They're going to watch it on, in my story, intentionally take a look at it. And I know that there's 90 of you that you're out there, you're going to see it, and you're never going to say it beep. And this was for you today. And if you'd like to know how to make a more powerful use of your quiet clarity as the cashier, as the data entry person, as the person who stays behind the curtain and never comes out on the stage, drop quiet clarity today. If you want to know how to do all the things that we talk about for that, you can still drop just the word clarity. But if you're the lurker, drop the phrase quiet clarity in a DM to me. I won't tell anybody. I won't call you out. I won't say, and then yesterday, Joan, who's a lurker, okay, I'll keep your secrets. But let's get you up leveled too. And let's help you show up in the world in that powerful way you were meant to. And be the voice that you're meant to do. Even if your voice never speaks out loud, your voice is screaming and is desperately needed. Okay? Thanks for being with me here today. I appreciate you. I hope you're happy, safe, warm, and loved, and that you have a great week.